academically, how well were you doing? Didn't you go
Um,
to a like an alternative arts school at one point?
we had
I think.
alternative education at the high school.
Oh, is that the?
Yeah, it was like an alternative education. It was for the teen moms and the druggy kids. And I started going there for science because of my science class. I had this teacher and he was kind of a prick. So I would just like do like unapproved science experiments in the class, and I would always be breaking beakers and fucking leaving on the Bunsen burners and stuff. And I was being a little prick about it, but I finally got kicked out of the science department because of it, and went into alt ed science. And I realized alt education was just no homework. So I was like, give me all these classes. I don't want to fucking do homework. And so most of my schedule was alternative education at that point.
Well, I happen to know that you're very intelligent. We've talked about some very heady topics, and I've seen you on other podcasts. So it's not that you're stupid. Do you think was it something about just the way the public schooling is, or something? Do you think that made you not interested in the subjects?
I think that it's not really challenging, and I didn't see a point. I was growing up in a crack house at the time, so I didn't really think there was going to be college, if anything. I wasn't sure if I would even be alive into my 20s at that point in time. So I really didn't give a fuck about grades or anything. And I really just went to school because it was an audience and I could make everybody laugh. And if the teachers were cool with that, I'd have like really good classes. And if the teachers wanted to like control the classroom, we'd have a problem. And I'd go to war with teachers who thought that they ran the classroom quite often. And I would almost always win. It's actually kind of fucked up. Like 2 times I had teachers bring their husbands in to fight me when I was a kid, like a 15-year-old, 14-year-old kid. And they'd bring their husbands in to like confront me. I had teachers try and fight me a couple of times. And I just like,
Because
punked
you
them out.
were, was it because you were so big?
Yeah, I'd get on their nerves because I would just like, I'd be the class clown, I'd steal the attention, and it got frustrating for some of them. And for others, it was like fun. Some teachers were just cool with it. And they're like, no, Bill's a fucking great student. We love him. He's makes like the days he doesn't show up are fucking boring. And then other teachers are like, no, he needs to not take my class from me. I'm like, sorry, it's my class.
Sounds very similar to me because I remember my school sent something to my mom one time that they asked every teacher I had, and it was like a different take on me. Some people thought I was popular, and
Yeah.
everybody liked. Some people thought I was like very dark and disturbing, and it was weird. So I felt like I kind of changed based on who I was around. You know what I mean? I didn't really have my own personality then.
Yeah.
So
I got a student of the month honor student in a class that I failed one year. It was like just that's how contradicting I was.
so let's get back to the crack house because you mentioned that again.
Yeah.
So you're older now. You're in high school. You were
Yeah.
actually running almost like a childlike crack game with like pogs. Like you were like,
Yeah,
were you
I was
learning? Were you kind of like, were you seeing shit like this going on in the house, and that's what gave you the idea to do this with pogs, or was it just natural, or?
I don't think I saw it in the house because like my dad wasn't really dealing. When I was a little kid, he tried to grow weed in the house and it was just like really expensive, and it was before I went to school, and I think they quit when I went to kindergarten, so I wouldn't tell everybody that we were growing fucking plants in our garage. But I thought I like dry snitch as a little kid. They quit that. They never sold. They never dealt. So like my dad was always buying. Every once in a while, he'd have his dealer stay at the house because he got kicked out of a hotel or something. But it wasn't a very common occurrence. And I think I just learned, how to accrue things, and there's value to that. In pogs and in cards, in baseball cards, you trade. the big thing is the trade economy. So like when it came to cards, one thing you learn quick about trading is that you don't always trade for equal value. And as a kid, I would find ways to make enticing trades that were horrible value for the person I was trading with. They wouldn't know what they had. I would know. And I would just, I think at the time we called it rape trading. And I would just rip off all these kids in trades. They were happy. They would always come back to me because they were always happy with what they got. They'd have no idea that I like fleeced them for $50 worth of cards and gave them like $2 worth of cards or something. So I was always leveling up. And then I would go and down to this tournament center they had for gaming, card gaming, in the University District of Seattle. It was the Wizards of the Coast Tournament Center, and it was right on the Ave where all the druggy kids were, the skateboard kids, the little hoodlum kids would hang out outside, and I'd go inside, and they'd kind of hang out with me, and they would steal cards and then give them to me to sell, and I would like give them like $20, and it was kind of fucked up, but you know I was a kid, and I'd give them like a cut, and I'd keep a cut, and nobody would say shit. I don't know if they knew I was a part of it or not, but it was kind of fucked up, but it was also, you know, young dumb kid shit. So